Oh, Wara, there's a new song out called "Peng Back Girls" by Enny and Brave. It's that's the original version.
Okay.
And Jorja Smith
don't know
has
these
jumped.
people.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
Jorja Smith has jumped on the remix. You know Jorja Smith,
Yeah,
right?
of course I know Jorja Smith. Yeah.
So she jumped on the remix, and obviously Jorja's a bigger brand, bigger name. Like people know her, so the song blew up. And there was a bit of backlash.
I saw the backlash.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
on,
There was a
you know
bit of
me, I follow the shade
backlash
room.
because everyone was like colorism, and that the song blew up. And I don't. Obviously, the song was always going to do better with Jorja because once you see Jorja, you're going to click on it because she has a fan base. But people were saying, obviously, we had Twitter talking about, oh, Jorja's so beautiful, Jorja's this, her body's nice, da, da, da. Everyone was going crazy, oh, Jorja's so stunning, da, 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 da. And obviously, the song is called Peng Black Girls, which is supposed to be glorifying, different shades of black, the beautiful black girls.
Yeah.
And even the former video did have dark-skinned girls at the forefront, like Peng Black Girls, like look at us, our hair, and we know we're not just a trend. Do you know what I mean? So there was a bit of backlash from the black girl community, I would like to say. Maybe some guys saying that, why did they put Jorja on the song? She's not the right person. She's not pushing out the message. That the actual message of the song has been lost in translation because now and I'm not gonna lie, even on TikTok, it's Jorja Smith's part that's gone viral. No one's really talking about Enny's part anymore.
Can you give me some context? So the song's called Peng Black Girls, and the song is basically just
talking about black girls, a bit of our struggles, but really just saying with
it's like an encouraging song. Okay.
Peng Black Girls.
Got you.
Yeah, it's called Peng Black Girls in my area code.
And there's an issue with Jorja Smith
featuring on there because obviously she's not dark skinned. She's obviously mixed race. And everyone's like, pretty privileged as well. And obviously because of the message of the song, it's like just for us to appreciate everything because the media has already pushed out what's kind of digestible in terms of black, like the light skin mixed race, this type of body type. So everyone's just like, this song is actually supposed to kind of praise everything else, so why should Jorja feature on that and kind of take away from the message? This is what they were saying. But
don't you think that people's backlash is kind of counterproductive? Because
what do you mean?
I mean, because at the end of the day, Jorja in some capacity is black. Okay, she's got black in her. Do you know what I mean? And if she's speaking about Peng Black Girls, she can obviously directly relate to that song because she is in somewhat a black girl, and she's speaking about her experiences. I'm not gonna lie, I heard a bit of the song, but I didn't really listen to her lyrics that much. I just saw like the things on Shade.
I liked her part. Her part was really nice.
So, and also, like you said before, Jorja Smith is a bigger person. So the song obviously blew up. Her part blew up, but she's Jorja Smith, and the other two girls I had never heard about a day in my life. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sure they're talented girls, but I didn't know about them. And her being on a song was obviously, she didn't bust into the studio and say, I'm going to say this, I want to be on this track. She obviously was requested to be on the track. The management or the label or whoever they're working with requested them to be on the track, requested Jorja to be on the track. So why would other people have an issue with Jorja Smith speaking about her black experience even if she's half black, even if she's she's still got black in her. She's a black woman to some degree. Why would people have a problem with that? To me, that's counterproductive.
I get what you're saying, but I think what they were trying to say is, we're not saying, like Jorja's not black, but I think this song predominantly the message is trying to say like, this is accepted already. But no, this is not the only form of black, and this is not the only form of black that you're going to digest. And I guess they're trying to say some struggles that, dark-skinned girls or fully black girls face, Jorja might not. And I think that's why everyone was like, she's actually, and I'm not going to lie, to a certain extent, you have the crazy Twitter that are a bit creepy, and all they're talking about is now how they want to finish a packet of condoms on Jorja and how her body's amazing, how she's so pretty and how she's this and that and that. And it is taken away from the message of the song. Obviously that's on them, that's not on Jorja. Yeah. Jorja did not choose to be, as stunning as she is. Do you know what I mean? So to a certain extent that's on them. But once again, this is what the message is saying. Like no one, I haven't really seen people like rave about Enny's part, Enny's part, and Jorja's part was really good. I'm not gonna lie, I love her verse, but no one's talking about Enny's part as well. And that the message is like, it's almost it's like distracting us. And so they just said, why could they not have had like a fully black person to push out the message?
Do you think that the message is being misconstrued or being distracted because she's light skinned or because she's Jorja Smith?
I think that obviously, I'm not gonna lie, Jorja has haters. Georgia has real life haters. I see under the shade borough or like when people are praising the girl is stunning, and you get people like literally like, nah, she's not even all that white people. Like the people hate on her hard. So I think to a certain extent, maybe Georgia, just Georgia alone, was part of that backlash. But I also feel like, that I don't want to say this, but like you said, and I don't know how to construct this in a right way,
PC. Just
but
say
in
it.
color, obviously colorism. So people do feel like when you're light skinned, you don't struggle as much as dark skin. When you're mixed race, you really black? So for me, one thing I do find a bit like I'm not really easy with is when, and I know this boils down to slavery and stuff. Like once you have a drop of black in you, you're considered black, and the Aborigines and all that, historical events. But I just feel like if you are mixed race, you should say you are mixed race. You shouldn't also like kind of denounce your white side. And I do feel like mixed race people sometimes, to a certain extent, are more digested by society than fully black people.
But I just think that's the advantage that mixed race people have, because they can speak about their black side and directly relate to their black side when they choose, and then they can speak about their white side or be more in, I don't know, with their white side
Rightfully
when
so.
when they choose to. I think that's their privilege. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, they can do that because they have a white side and they have a black side. I have mixed race cousins, and if one day my cousins decide they want to represent their black side, they don't want to call themselves black, I'm going to let them be black to the cows come home. And if they want to turn around and they want to be more in celebration of their white side or whatever, they can do that at the end of the day. That is what they're mixed race, so they have two races in them. They have that option.
I know,
Obviously,
I
black
get,
people don't have the option.
Yeah.
I think there's an issue. I'm not ever going to say that black people, dark-skinned girls, dark-skinned people in general have not gone through things. They don't have struggles. They still have struggles. They've been through a lot, and I can sympathize with that completely. I can. But the thing that I have an issue with is when a light-skinned person is being shown on TV, or obviously like Jorja Smith in a song and stuff like that, and people have a problem with it when she's speaking about her black side and her black struggle, because she's also black. I am not the darkest skinned person. I've had people tell me, "Oh, well, you won't understand."
I've had that too.
I may not directly understand your struggle, but
Yeah.
I also have a struggle.
I
So
have
when
my
I'm
own
telling you
struggle.
that I've been through this, don't say, "Oh, whatever," and don't blow it off as if it's not important.
Even
Because
you
if
telling me that I can't speak on this because I'm not dark skinned is a struggle in itself, because I'm still black. So I do get where you're coming from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People who are not dark skinned can still speak about black issues because they are black. They have been through stuff.
We all have different
and
experiences.
That's why I said it's very counterproductive. I remember when Leanne from Little Mix, she had documentary and she was speaking about her struggles in the industry, because obviously in her group she's the darkest person. She may not be dark skinned, but in her group she's the darkest person, and she's been through so much. She's been through colorist racist remarks, colorist remarks and stuff like that. And so many people were like, "Oh, whatever, you'll never understand." There was silence in her pain. There was silence in her struggle. And I find that very, very wrong. Because at the end of the day, we are black. We're all one race.
We
At
should
the end of
stand
the
in solidarity.
What is the point? You're basically doing unto others what you do not like other people doing unto you. Because if you as a darker skinned woman or a brown skinned woman was speaking about your struggle and people silenced you, it would be a huge uproar. Don't then go and do the exact same thing to somebody else who's also a black sister. Do you know what I mean? That bothers me. So with Jorja Smith, it's like, I genuinely believe the reason why her part probably went well and went viral is because, one, it was very good. Two, she's very talented. Three, she's a bigger name.
Yeah.
Simple.
I mean, literally, she's the bigger name. So that is probably the main reason why.
Exactly.
But I think, once again, they were just more I guess.
No,
do you know what? I get your point of view, and I get their point of view. I do, because they're probably thinking like, even the part she's thinking about is they're probably thinking, have you even really experienced it? Because you're not, you're not the typical
That's very
black
ignorant.
girl. Yeah,
That's very close.
Yeah.
That's a very close-minded way to think. Do you know what I mean? Just because her struggle is different to yours doesn't mean she struggled. Just because her skin tone is a different tone to yours, her skin shade is lighter or darker than yours, doesn't mean she hasn't got her own experiences.
Yeah, we can say that though, but I'm gonna side with them just a little bit, because I'm not gonna lie, like some struggles that we face as fully black girls, or dark skinned girls, like I can't speak for them, but I've got a sister that's dark skin. I've got friends that are dark skin, and some of their struggles that they face, and some of the remarks that they faced, like even from when we were young, when people would being dark skinned has almost always been seen as an insult. Like, for example, when people used to call each other blick, or people used to say your skin is dirty.
Yeah, which is obviously disgusting.
Yeah, that's evident. But I'm just saying, like, these struggles, I can understand why they're sensitive when, you know, a song like Peng Black Girls comes out and they're like, yes, glorify our complexion, glorify our beauty, our features. And you have someone who isn't the typical image of, you know, what that song was kind of pushing out.
Okay.
I mean, I guess the song was kind of glorifying all black girls of every shade, but it was also speaking on, I don't know, it's a bit, it does contradict.
So do you know that there's fully black people that are lighter than Jorja Smith? There's fully black people who are Jorja Smith's skin color.
Yeah.
So does that mean, like, there's delusion? There's Rachel Dolezal or whatever her stupid name was. That
even people of albinism as well. Yeah,
exactly. Who are fully white and who think they're black. That's different. But then there's actual black. Like, that's the thing about the black race. We're so diverse in color. We are so diverse. There are 100% black people that are lighter than Jorja Smith.
Yeah.
So does that mean that they're not black? Does that mean that they cannot speak about being black at all? Do you know what I mean? And I think, where does it stop? So only dark-skinned people are allowed to talk about their black lives and their black struggle, or glorifying blackness. If we're talking about a song that's glorifying black people, then I should be able to relate to it and sing along to it. You're basically saying only, like, not you, but I'm just saying these people, are you basically trying to say that only dark-skinned people should listen to that song and like it and resonate with it? If you're light-skinned, this song isn't for you.
I think there was a certain element of ownership from, you know, specific category of girls that they felt like this is our song. But linking back to what was said earlier, Enny did approve it, and this is a big move for her career, because as soon as Jorja jumped on, I never knew who she was. I went on her YouTube page, and there's another song called, like, He's Just Not That Into You, and I love that song, and that's got no one on it, it's just her, and that song's amazing. So Jorja already has helped her career, and I was listening to one of Jorja's interviews, and she said, do you know what? Get me onto any big names, features or whatever, naturally they're going to click. And she said, one day I hope I'm that big that I can, this was 4 years ago, I think it was with Joy Adenuga. What's her name? No, Skepta's sister. Julie, that's it. Julie Adenuga, and she was like, I hope I'm a big name one day, that, you know, people can click onto me and stuff like that. So I do get it, and kudos to her for helping Enny. So I think people,
I question, because I'm trying to think of, like, someone who's big in the UK or even in America who's of a darker complexion, a big name. I'm just thinking, if they were on that song, would the song probably blow up? It probably would. I genuinely believe it is because of Jorja's status.
Fan base.
Exactly, more than, because if somebody else who was just the same skin colour as Jorja but was unknown said the exact same words.
Amia Brave, the original song.
There you go. I don't know these people.
Amia's part was good. I wish they had left it. No, she's dark skinned.
Yeah, but I'm saying, if somebody of Jorja's skin complexion who wasn't as big as Jorja, some random mixed race girl from Canning Town or somewhere came and did it, it wouldn't have blown. So we
don't know that, but likelihood.
It wouldn't have gone as viral as it's a fact. Like, it's true, because it wouldn't have been on the Shade Bar, because she's not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So linking back to what we said about, you know, we can't speak of, because obviously Jorja's mixed. So, like, and you said, you know, anyone can identify with whatever side. Look, mixed race people have the choice of identifying with their black side or white side. Even though I don't totally agree with that, I think I don't totally agree with that. I feel like you, as a mixed race person, you are mixed race. So, I mean, it's up to you what you want to do in it. And especially if you grew up with your white side or your black side. I mean, but when Doja Cat, when she said that she only dates white guys, she got hella backlash for that. I don't know if she actually announced it. And obviously she did that whole weird saying the N-word in the room full of, like, all these hillbillies. But when she said that, people were like, oh, she doesn't like her white side, she doesn't like this, she doesn't like her black side, she's denouncing her black side. So why should someone be mixed race, fully identify as black, and just not care about their white side? But if someone mixed race was to say, do you know, I'm totally white.
I'm talking about attraction, and you're allowed to be attracted to whoever you want to be attracted to. I can be a black girl and say I'm attracted to white boys. That's got nothing.
No. What I'm saying is Doja Cat. They were saying Doja. I'm just saying it because she said she only like white boys. Yeah. They said she doesn't like her black side.
Yeah, but these are the ignorant people. We're talking about people who are ignorant. Do you know what I mean? Just because somebody is more attracted to white people. It could be their upbringing. It could be when they went to school, they were only around white people, so naturally their attraction grew for white people. It could just be like they just like certain things, certain white features. It could be whatever. Do you know what I mean?
She said growing up she wasn't too happy with her. Once again, her dad, who is black, did kind of leave her life at a young age. So her white mum raised her. So I can understand why she's grown up to be quite. So I get it. But my point is like, ignorant remarks from, ignorant people, but it's just like, I just feel like they should just identify as mixed race, because that's what they are. Because I know I'm going to ruffle a few feathers, but when they were like, we've had our first black president in America, I was like, oh my God, because Barack does look like fully black. So when I found out that he's actually mixed race, I was like, okay, we've got a president who is, who's got black in him. But why are we not saying that we've got, a mixed
Do you know
president?
what it is? Funnily enough, when Barack was elected, I had an American English teacher. So she literally come from New Jersey. And she was basically explaining to us that in America, they have a one-drop rule.
Yeah.
So your great-great-great-great-granddad could be black. You're considered black. It's like the minute you have one drop of black in you, you're black. So in America, he's black. Like they don't even acknowledge the fact that he's mixed race. Do you know what I mean? I think it's more, even my auntie who lives in America was telling me that when they're filling out forms, you know how we've got like mixed black and white mix, they just have black, white, Hispanic, other, do you know what I mean? Asian, other, do you know what I mean? So that's America, do you know what I mean? But ultimately, I think even Barack Obama being the president of America is so, even though he's only half black, it was such a celebration. Even if they said the first mixed race, I would still celebrate with my heart like he was.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm saying. But do you reckon in America they can have a fully black president? Do you feel like Barack being mixed may have...
No, because
it made him a bit digestible for white votes.
The racist and the white supremacists in America still look at him as filth and black and disgusting. They don't care that. They don't even acknowledge the fact that, well, actually, technically, he's half of what you lot are. Yeah. They don't care. They don't give a... So no, in America, it doesn't matter to them. So if they want to have a full black president, like even with I've forgotten her name now. It's gonna really bug me. The vice president elect.
How dare I? Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Yeah.
We did it, Joe.
So she, she's obviously half South Asian, half black in it. But they're basically, it's a hard move, even that one, because they're basically calling her black, even though she's South Asian.
I said. I saw that as well. I was like,
that's like the one. That's like the one drop rule. And even then, they were so horrible to her. They were purposely mispronouncing her name, like badly. Like every single time they'll speak about her, they'll literally call her any name under the... We can't say her name, but it's a very simple name to say. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically, in America's it's just a different thing. Do you know what I mean? And I think why should... It's not fair for us to require, especially because we're not mixed race ourselves, require mixed people to identify. They can identify themselves as any way they choose to, as long as they're not being offensive. Why can't they? If they want to say I'm black, why can't they? If they want to say I'm white, why can't they? Do you know what I mean? I feel like that is what that's the privilege they have, because they've got two sides.
Okay, I get the whole one drop rule, but a mixed race person couldn't say they're white though. It's just complexion. It's just, you know what I mean? I wish we were in a society where we can literally, see equality. But with that being said, like, now do you kind of get... when we're speaking about this matter of, them denouncing them as white, because of just that half black that they are. Yeah. People that are now fully black, us that are now fully black, or, for example, the girls that were saying, why is Jorja on there? Yeah. She doesn't understand our struggles. Jorja's still kind of half white. So for some, she's digestible. Do you see why? I guess music is business, innit? So we can't even really speak on this. But do you now see why people that are fully black are like,
I think that what people tend to do is they tend to reflect their trauma and pour their trauma onto other people, and that's not fair.
That's not fair, yeah.
It's not fair, because we all live different lives and we all have different experiences. Now, your trauma is your trauma, and I can only sympathize with you, and I will never take that away from anybody. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, just because you've been through something and you've had a horrible time, you can't then perpetuate that onto another person who didn't have that same trauma. Do you know what I mean? The person isn't saying that your trauma doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm lighter than you, so what I'm saying goes, and I can speak for the black race.
Yeah.
They're not saying that. I think all she was doing was encouraging black people. Her lyrics were touching. Her lyrics they should have listened to her lyrics and taken it for what it was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, that's the thing. Do you know what I mean? I would understand if they had gotten Rachel Dozier or a completely white person, or
Yeah.
you know, with the whole like blackfishing, people who
Yeah.
are blatantly white and they tan their skin and stuff like that, to speak about it, because that's straight up disrespectful.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But she has a voice because she has a black side, and as long as she has a black side, she has a voice. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sure she's also experienced stuff.
And you know, linking back to what was said, like once you are half black, you do have that whole you're black by society, so instantly you are facing hardship,
and sometimes they go through it a lot.
Yeah.
A lot more, not I won't say a lot worse,
They
but
have their own experiences.
Exactly,
basically.
because
they have their own experiences.
there's situations. I remember in school, one of my mixed race friends at the time was telling me that literally some of her family members were so disgusted with her other cousins who are fully white would get so much love, and they were like, ugh, like they literally hated the fact, oh, you married a black man, look at your kids, that you just kind of like dirtied up the family line. Do you know what I mean? So they go through it themselves. It's like, oh my gosh, like
it's true. That is true.
Because imagine, yeah, being in a family that's white and they're racist, yeah, and the mum, the one of them decided to step out and be out of their race and be a black person, and the whole family hates. Do you know how that feels? Do you know what I mean? So they literally have their own struggles.
And it's not even only like black people. I have a family that, you know, they date Asians and they denounce they literally were like, we don't want you. If you're going to stay with that Asian man or Asian woman,
With mixed race families, they do also have their own thing. A lot. Sometimes, like, I'll never forget, even my cousin, she's like, I'm confused. And it really made me sad because she's young. She's now living in America. Do you know what I mean? Basically, she was like, oh, I'm confused. So, you know, she's like, oh, I love my black side and I love my white side, but I feel like I have to make a choice. Do you know what I mean? And I think that in itself is a struggle. Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like we cannot silence anybody else's struggle just because you feel like your struggle might be more. Do you know what I mean? Who's to measure what? At the end of the day, we should all be able to relate to each other, understand each other, and celebrate each other, essentially.
Let me just, I know this is such a deep convo, but you know what? In terms of like why this is coming out, we need to also kind of go back to the core of what has raised this issue. For example, music videos only showing all these mixed girls as the pretty girls, and you know the main character guy saying, yeah, cop me a lighty, cop me a this, and even more time I hear cop me a browning. Then like more time they don't even say darky. Do you see what I mean? Like, can you get the frustration where the anger is coming from? And I don't even want to say ignorant comment, because once again that's their trauma. Like dark skinned girls saying what they're saying, like I get what their point of view. So I don't want to label their comment as ignorant, because they can only speak from their experiences, how they feel, you know, they haven't been recognized or seen as beautiful by the media. So I get that. But do you somewhat blame this happening and maybe this divide by social media or music videos or things like that?
Yes, I do. But at the same time, I 100% get it, because obviously the representation for years has been very lacking. At the same time, if we continue to have these conversations, we're not helping the situation, we're still causing a divide. Do you know what I mean? I think if they were saying that we need to see more dark-skinned women in roles like this, then that's fine. But you don't have to then condemn someone who's light-skinned. That is where I have the issue.
Because
do you know what I mean?
It's like you're kind of a topic already that's sensitive and supposed to be about empowerment. You're now projecting negativity into
and that's
it.
why I said it's
and that takes away
that's
from,
what I'm saying. It's there's nothing wrong with campaigning to see more dark-skinned girls, more black women on screens, in music videos, in music songs. You know, campaign for more dark-skinned rappers to even step up, and, you know, if you're just, you know, encourage that. Do you know what I mean? And do you know what they actually did, which is so bad? They actually took the glory and the thing away from the what was the original girl's name?
Amia Brave.
Amia Brave, who is, you said, dark skin. They kind of took it away from her because they were so like, oh, Jorja Smith, and they spoke about it so much. You kind of did take the glory away from the originator of the song.
Enny's the originator. Amia Brave was the one who the original song was with. Okay. But Enny is the owner of the song. Yeah.
You somewhat took the glory away from Enny, and you've discredited her a bit because you've made it, even if you were trying to, in a way, say like, oh, whatever, you've almost made it about Jorja Smith in a negative way, thinking you've done something when you've actually done the opposite. And that's why I said in the beginning that it's very counterproductive, because whatever you were setting out to do, you've still, listen, that they say good or bad press, you're still talking about me. Do you know what I mean? As long as I'm still in your mouth, I'm still a topic. Do you know what I mean? So even if you were saying something negative, you've still taken it away from the originator of the song because you've been saying negative stuff. Do you know what I mean? So that is why I feel like, as much as I can understand that you want more people, I think that look like you can still still celebrate other
do you know?
people.
Do you know? I'm not going to say anything, but I think it's good to have conversations like this. Just it's just good to get people talking. It's good. It's been a good move for Enny. Like, the song is phenomenal. Both versions. I listened to both. Like, as soon as I saw the version, I was like, oh, remix. I was like, okay, let me go listen to the original version. And obviously, even on YouTube, I checked the views that both versions are going up. Obviously, Georgia's one's on like millions, and the original one is peaking, like it's on its way to becoming a million. So do you know what? I think everyone should go listen to that song. It doesn't matter what race you are, what color you are. Just go definitely support Enny. She's definitely gonna blow. So,
and I wanted to, do you know what I mean? And I'm now going to go and listen to her music. I've never listened to anything, but you know me, I'm not a big music head. I listen to Westlife and stuff. So